So we have some of the most interesting, unique, and amazing meditations, I think, in the world. I mean, we have past life regression meditations, guided hypnosis meditations, Akashic record meditations, as well as healing meditations. Our meditations are pretty cool. And they're not just about stillness of mind and peace and sit there, I mean, we have those too. Don't get me wrong, but these are about meditations that are going to shift and change, and you're going to walk out of there feeling lighter, freer, healed, and even getting guidance and insight. So come down, experience one of our meditations. They're pretty badass. Hi, this is Cristina Dam, and this is Liberate the Podcast, where we educate, motivate, inspire, and liberate your consciousness. Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Liberate the Podcast. Today we have a treat. We're bringing in a creative singer-songwriter, Isabelle, who really takes a stand for what she believes in and allowing that to come through within her music and within her brand. But we're also going to talk about how life sometimes pulls you in different directions and really going with the flow of life and kind of surrendering, right? You know? So welcome.
That's right. Hi. Thanks for having me. This is wonderful. It smells so good in here. You can't smell it, but it just smells like incense and peace.
And I put rose oil on my hands right before we began, so.
Can I smell them? I love rose oil. So like macaroons.
I don't know that I've eaten rose macaroons.
Oh, they're the best. You gotta have one.
I just think of I had some macaroons yesterday, but they were like caramel and sea salt.
Next time, get a rose.
Okay, I'll try it. So, welcome.
Thank you. It is so good to be here. I know we were talking a little bit before this about kind of like that my life's been shifting. And so this is a great time to come and do this podcast.
Yeah. And, we'll get into the shifting of life and everything, but I would love people to know a little bit about you, your music, what you stand for,
For sure.
And then, hearing about how you got into and then why you decided to take the stance that you did and why it's meaningful for you, and then where life is kind of taking you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I've sang all my life. It's always been my passion and my goal to be a professional artist. And growing up, I had a really rough childhood dealing with family issues and not the greatest environment growing up. And also feeling like I wasn't good enough on the outside to be what I wanted to be in the industry I wanted to be in. Growing up, it was always, I lived in the generation of Britney Spears and Cristina Aguilera and, like small girls who are very pop star. You have to look a certain way. So growing up, I always had this misconception of what I needed to be successful. And then when I moved to LA, as I don't know who's watching and who knows about LA, and certainly that it's a big plastic bubble in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And living here kind of just took it to another level. And when I started really writing my own music, I wrote songs that really talked about being exactly who I am and being good enough in the skin that I'm in and sharing my other gifts with people. So I don't know if you could tag it in the video, but a video and song that I put out is called Unlabeled.
Okay.
And that was
I think I've watched that one. Okay. And it was really, about you had tape on your mouth at one point. Was that the video?
Yeah. Well, I had I didn't have tape on my mouth, but I was I was in this corset, and then I had words all over my body.
Oh, words all over. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Thank you for watching it.
Yeah.
But we made that video and that song. It's all about accepting who you are and what you are, and not letting the world define you, and not letting yourself bring yourself down.
Yeah.
So with Unlabeled, kind of sparked this whole movement in my music, with just self-acceptance and also just sharing my truth through songs. All my songs I have fun songs and songs about love, but a lot of my songs are about my childhood, about my grandmother and Alzheimer's, dementia, about, having a really tough childhood and finding someone really wonderful and honest in my life. So, yeah.
So it's all about relatability and really about finding your own truth, right? And your true calling. Right?
Yeah, I feel like my calling through my music has become just trying to help people understand themselves and their truth and be happy with who they are.
Happy, accepting, and know that who they are is perfect, right?
Exactly.
And so with that, I mean, is this how you started out in your music career? Like really like saying, I'm going to, you know, so you said, you know, you grew up in the generation of like the Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and stuff like that. You know, did you at one point try to fit that mold and then get sick of it and switch, or did you say I'm just gonna, you know, beat to my own drum, I'm gonna say my own things, and I'm gonna love and accept myself and not care and fight against what I feel the current is?
Absolutely. In the beginning, I went to college, and then after I came out of college, I did American Idol. And then after American Idol, I moved to New York and I did Off-Broadway. And through that process, before I really figured out my calling with my music, I still had this misconception of, okay, I still need to like, you know, I was constantly trying to lose weight, constantly trying to form my body.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I was wondering. Okay.
Yes. But I think when people ask me, you know, how did you get this confidence? Like all of us, you know, how did you... I think that writing the music, I healed through the process of the music. Even doing the video, I healed during the video. So I really like do owe my music to my own healing too, and just seeing the reaction to it and being like, wow, I've made an impact on other people to love themselves. Like, what greater gift is that?
And I mean, there's something to say. I mean, about facing that, becoming real with yourself, right? And and then to create something into the public eye. Yeah, you go through your own healing process, right? You're becoming true to it. You're writing it out. And you're performing it out, you know? So that's like taking therapy to a next level,
Whole other level. And I was shocked. Couldn't even believe it, because therapy, you know, is a lot of writing. Writing becomes therapy, but I never expected after the fact to still be receiving therapy from my own music. Such a weird thing to think about.
Well, you know, that what we focus on, you know, if our intention is healing to have this, you know, if you're putting yourself through experiences, you know, and that's like kind of like cognitive behavioral therapy. You do different behaviors that are going to shift, you know, your belief system and emotional reactions, right? And your triggers, right? But you're kind of doing that on a bigger scale. And so every time you're singing, performing, whether you're making the video or whatnot, or even speaking about it, like in this moment, you're healing one more aspect of yourself. You're reinforcing the confidence and the truth of why you do what you do.
And always realizing something new. Through every process, which is exciting.
And so with this realization of something new, you said that your life has been taking a different turn. And, you know, right before we started, you said that you kind of feel like you're not in control. And not that we're ever fully in control of our life. You know, we are to a certain extent. I know I preach that about, you know, take ownership, take control of your life. But then there is all this other universal aspects and other people outside of yourself that are impacting. And sometimes we don't know where we're being guided. Right?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing a little on that.
Absolutely. I think that we go through phases of believing that we are in certain phases of our life, whether that be we think that, our life's going to go down this path, or we're going to try to go down this path. And for me, I have lulls where I'll feel like, wow, I'm like really down, and I feel like nothing's really moving. Do you know, like in the beginning of the year, like people are like, 2020, let's go, it's a new year. Deep down, I feel like people say that, but deep down, everyone kind of feels this like, oh, God, 2020, like it's a new damn year, start all over, you know? And that's a lot of how I felt this year with like, okay, it's 2020, cool, but like there's certain things that I want to be doing that are really hard to do. As an indie artist, I'm trying to book my own tour, which is really difficult for those of you who don't know about being an indie artist booking a tour. It's really hard to just get responses, get people to respond to you, especially when you don't have another tour under your belt, you know? But how are you supposed to book a tour? Like if you can't let me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you can't let me perform, like, oh, you don't have a tour booked. Well, I'd like to book it with you if you'd let me, you know?
Yeah, no, it's like the catch-22 of this weird rat race with everything. Like
everything.
Like, in order to, like let's say if somebody's trying to build credit or that, well, you need to have acquired loans in order to do that. But in order to get loans, you already have to have credit.
What is that?
Like, you know, the catch-22 on it. In order to get a job, you need work experience. But how do you, you know, like
oh my gosh, so true, so true. So that's where I'm at in my life right now, where, you know, a lot of doors aren't opening as easily. But I've actually, you know, first week of January, I was feeling like this, like, how do I shift my life? And now my life just shifted. in very positive ways, but stressful ways. You know, like I had a problem with my upstairs neighbor, and they threatened to like basically like report me for making a lot of noise because I'm a singer. And so now we're like, okay, we have to move. And then it's this whole like, well, where are we moving? And your whole life really shifts when you're moving. I mean, you know, the location, like everything. Are you moving to a house, an apartment? LA is crazy in the real estate game out here. So that's kind of where my life's shifting. But just knowing that I have a really strong intuition. And I think that's the most important thing when your life is shifting, to know that like I'm at peace, because whatever's going to happen around me, like I have to stay calm and focused and believing that I'm going to make the right decision.
Yeah. And do you have any kind of like tools or different things that you've learned over your years about how to get you to that space?
I think I don't ask a lot of opinions because, you know, you have to have those very specific people you ask opinions of.
Oh, firm belief in that. You know, people ask way too many people their opinions, and then they put so much value on those opinions. But really, what is an opinion? It's somebody else's
emotional reaction.
And it's somebody else's belief system. Right? So, you know, just as much as people have all these different belief systems, you ask somebody that, let's say, really honors creativity and really says, you know, go and make something for yourself. You can be an entrepreneur. You're going to get one kind of thing. Somebody that believes in structure and security is going to be like, oh, you better play it safe. You better do this instead, right? Somebody that, you know, and then keep on going. And for every person, you're going to get a different opinion that they never fully look at your situation. They only see it through the mild filter of what you shared with them, and then perspective through their situation.
Of course.
And oftentimes it's so hard for somebody to relate if they're completely different.
Absolutely. And then you have friends who do put, like you just said, like they're putting themselves in their own situation, not putting themselves in your shoes. I have friends who put myself in their shoes, who are the ones I go to. They say, well, I'm in your shoes. I'm acting as you. I'm in this situation. You know, they really think logically. So I think that for me has been huge, not talking to a lot of people about things. I also believe that if you talk too much about something that you want to happen outwardly, like I have this issue with like, I'd rather just keep it inward and like hope that it happens. And then when it happens, I'll say something. Yeah. But maybe that's just my belief.
No, they say on an energetic level, that's one of the best things to do, because you create thought forms and that. Okay, so let's talk metaphysical for a second.
Go for it, because this will make me feel better.
Okay, so when you create something and you have an idea, you create this thought form. So let's say, I don't know, you're manifesting getting this house, right? And so you're really excited about the house, so you have this house vision.
Right.
And we're going to say it's a house in LA, okay? So then there's going to be lots of haters because a lot of people just have studio apartments. So we're going to say it's a house, right?
Okay.
And then you go and you say, you start telling people. And let's say, well-intentioned, why does she get to have a house?
Ooh.
That's not fair. How is she going to afford that? Blah, 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 blah. You know, and even if they're saying to you, oh yeah, that sounds nice, if underneath their belief system, energy follows emotional response, not words. So important.
Wow.
Right?
Can you say that one more time?
Energy follows emotional response, not words. Right? So people can say something like if you've ever
their intention.
If you've ever talked to somebody and you can read right through it, right? And it's like, you're saying this, but you know that your energy is saying this, right? The energy is always outwinning the thought, or outwinning that verbal construct, right?
Right.
And so then you have these people, and like, let's imagine that each one of those little things are like little arrows going right towards your thought form, poking holes in it, poking holes in it, poking holes in it. If it's not strong enough, it's going to start to deplete. It's like the sun rays going and shining into a cloud. It starts to dissipate the cloud. But if you have all these leakages everywhere, that bubble isn't firm and solid, it doesn't ever manifest.
Yeah, I am mind blown right now, because I'm so glad that I brought that up, because I've always wondered, good things that happen in my life are things that I normally try to keep. And you want to tell people, you're so excited, right? You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh. But I'm like, I'm going to keep this to myself. but things that don't come through are the things that I tell too many people, and now it makes total sense of what you're saying.
Yeah, so those that are watching, think about it, you know? You don't have to take my word 100% for it, but, you know, if you think about it and you allow yourself to notice those things, you know, take it to yourself in that. And the other aspect of it, there's another energy that could be behind it, right? So sometimes when you feel that you need to tell a lot of people, you're looking for validation.
You're insecure about it.
And you're insecure, and so you're actually putting out an energy that you don't trust or you don't really believe it's yours. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a very rare occasions when something super exciting happens and you just want to scream it from the mountains, right? But normally that's after it's already manifested. Mm-hmm. You got that call that you're going to be on American Idol. You got the thing, you know, like it's already there. You know, it's done. So you want to scream it to, you know.
Right.
But a lot of times, you know, if you're sharing and like this might be a possibility, or this is what I'm focusing on, or I'm trying to manifest this or do this, you're seeking either opinions unconsciously, validation, mm-hmm. or you're not sure about it, so you're trying to convince yourself, so you're saying it over and over again.
Right.
You know, so all of that is away from energy. It's pushing that away from you. It's not saying, okay, I know this is going to happen.
Right.
Right?
Right. Or I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to believe that whatever's meant to happen for my life will happen, and that's that. Yeah. And that's kind of the direction I'm trying to take with it.
I like it.
So I love that thank you for telling me all that, because that really, really helps me just take a breath and let it all sort itself out.
Yeah,
for sure.
We never know where we're fully going, you know? Like, we shoot out this way, and then life goes doot, 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 doot. Yeah. And then end up over here somehow, and then maybe we end up over here, and then who knows where we end up. Right. But, you know, like if you follow people's stories, like getting familiar with autobiographies of individuals that have walked different paths and different things, most of the time they never end up.
Exactly.
And even some of our most like crazy inventions that we use all the time, a lot of times it was like a mistake that happened. Mm-hmm. Like the Post-it notes. That was like a mistake.
Really?
A rubber band was a mistake too, and so it got like the rubber band or whatever the material. I think it's like a bone or whatever. They got thrown into like the acid or would have made rubber band,
elastic.
Made rubber bands, and it was like accidentally fell in. And then the Post-it notes were something, I forget the exact story, but they were trying to do and create something completely different. And then they created the sticky surface, and lo and behold, there was the Post-it notes.
Wow!
Right? And you keep on going down those rabbit holes, and you see that these people literally stumbled upon what would lead them into massive success or new direction, or fall wherever they're going.
Right.
Sometimes there's intention and we go with it, but we don't know where that's going to lead 10 years from now.
True, exactly. I love that. Wow. Okay, so going back to your question, don't tell a lot of people. Uh-huh. Also, quieting your own opinion is really important for me.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
So I will say, in my head, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's for us. Like, whatever. Then I say, you know what? Like, let me be quiet and stop trying to figure out what's going to happen and listen to thoughts that I feel like God's talking to me. I feel like are more my intuition and not my subconscious that's insecure. Mm-hmm. That's something that I definitely pride myself in, is that I feel like I have a strong intuition and I feel like I trust myself, which is a lot of people don't. Well, and I would say, like, just hearing your language patterns and how you speak, it's about knowing that you do trust. You say, like, it's going to happen however it happens, and it's meant to be, right? You know, like, but having that unshakable knowing that whether it happens or it doesn't happen, or a disaster unfolds or a beautiful gift unfolds, that it's all going to give you something, and either way you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that that's one of the biggest recipes for, like, just enjoying life, right? Otherwise you're just in that place of...
Well, then you're in that place of angst.
Yeah.
But then you're also in a place of not trusting, which is actually cutting down on your self-esteem and confidence. And you're saying it only has to be one way, right?
Right.
And then it's like, but it doesn't have to be one way.
Right. So when you're going through a hard situation, internally, is that what you do? Do you feel like you you just trust the process and you say everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to? Do you struggle with that?
Yeah, I mean, I bounce back and forth because there's sometimes when I get really attached to certain things, so I'm not like immune to getting attached to certain things.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when something, I find myself that I easily reset myself, that I may get attached to wanting to manifest or create something in a certain way. And then if that falls apart or something, I immediately can look at it from the lens of how did this serve me? What is the lesson? What am I supposed to learn? And why did this fall through? So what else is coming up? You know? And I have this uncanny like sense of energy or knowing that it's leading towards something else. So this didn't happen in order for this to happen, or this was supposed to be this lesson that got me here, right? And I believe that we're constantly just writing pages in a book, so our story is continuing.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
But do I sometimes get attached? Yeah. And then I get myself all stressed out. And that's when I notice that I get stressed. It's because I'm attached. I'm not trusting. I'm saying I'm trying to force that this needs to happen this way because I'm so attached to that outcome.
Right. Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm trying not to do with this house, or this, you know, this thing, because it's just a thing. And there's other things out there with 4 walls and a floor. And wherever I end up, I'll buy lots of plants and lots of incense, and it will be great.
Yeah, see? But that's the knowing. Like, I know I'm going to have lots of plants. I know I'm going to have incense.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's going to feel a certain way. I know it's going to make me feel a certain way. I know it's going to have a certain amount of light or a certain amount of color palette or whatever that is. But the more that we have a knowing and we don't question things, the easier it is for us to manifest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, if you suddenly booked a trip somewhere, you don't constantly check in on your flight to make sure that the flight didn't get canceled. You just show up at the airport.
Right. Just, it happens.
It just happens. Life just happens.
Life just happens.
But you don't like check your email and your itinerary 50,000 times, you know, like, or
People do. They're crazy. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
You know, but most of the time you book a dinner with a friend, you book a trip somewhere, you do something, and it is.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. For sure. So yeah, I guess that's how I deal.
Okay. And so what's on the docket for this year for you as far as your plans and your intentions?
The plans that I have are as follows. I will be moving some point in the next month. I will be booking a tour, and I will be making it happen because I need to go to these cities to see these amazing people that have been following my music and supporting me. It's very important that I do that this year. That's my number one goal.
Okay.
Putting out an album.
Okay.
We're putting out an album before the middle of the year.
Okay.
In January, I actually did something I've never done before, which I did the whole 1-year plan, 5-year plan. Just more like, this is what I want to make happen this year, this month. Breaking it down by month, which was so helpful. And it was so overwhelming at first, where I was like, oh my gosh, like writing out a year, writing out 5 years, like I don't know what's going to happen. But this is what I'd like to happen realistically. Yeah. So a tour is on this year, and an album is this year. And if the tour goes well, another tour by the end of the year. That's like really, I want to be out on the road. I want to be meeting people and like just basically giving back and thanking people for really, being so supportive.
I love that. And would this tour be U.S. or?
It would be U.S.
Okay.
The first tour is going to be the southern part of the U.S., so like from Phoenix all the way to Nashville and Atlanta back. And then if that works out, we're going to maybe do a Northeast tour or a Pacific Northwest tour. I've never been to Seattle. I'm dying to go. So part of me is like, maybe we should just do that so I can go to Seattle.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's really this year, and just trying to enjoy life a little bit. Yes, we have goals. Most importantly, I'm just trying to be like, okay, it's okay for me to also enjoy the little day-to-day things too.
Not only is it okay,
it's important.
It's important,
yeah. It's important.
And in understanding how important that is, right?
Yeah. Yes. And I don't think I did until like very recently, because I think I looked back on the last 2 years and I had so much anxiety over what I should be doing and what I'm not doing that I don't even remember what I did, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Looking back on a month or a year or...
Oh, yeah. No, I feel you. Sometimes we get so involved in things that we forget that these are our days. Interesting fact, the average American lives for less than 30,000 days.
30,000 days. It's so weird when you say it like that.
I know. It's a perspective shift. 30,000 days, the average American lives for less than that.
Wow.
So when you think about it, depending on where you're at in your life cycle, at least 10,000, maybe 15,000 of those days are already gone.
Right.
So you're looking at, anywhere from 15, 20,000, maybe 10,000 days. And when you start to put it in those like smaller numbers, say, I only really have like 10,000, let's just say 10,000, right? Good days left because you get older and things happen or whatever, but 10,000 days.
10,000 days, or when someone says to me weeks. How many weeks are in a year? 40?
52.
52. 52 weeks in a whole year?
Yeah.
That one freaks me out too, with the days. You just really put me on a whole other level. Because days, even more than weeks, right? You break it down another level.
Yeah.
A day is still towards that number of 10,000 days. Then it's 99999. Then it's 9998.
Yeah, and when you look at it like that, if you just had $10,000, that's very easy and quick to spend, right? And so 10,000 days and each one being valuable, and how quickly do they go by, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you go and you waste a whole year, you waste 365 of those,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's easy to do.
And then you do another one, and then you're down, and then, so each thinking about it in that kind of mindset, right?
Right, for sure. I love that.
You kind of like say, well, how do I embrace this day instead of wishing it away? How do I start to find at least a little bit of happiness? I know we get all so caught up in our goals and manifesting and creating, and I'm a firm believer. Set those intentions, create what you want, otherwise life is just going to fill in the bucket with whatever it feels in the trash that blows, right?
Yeah.
Dig a hole in the backyard. You don't plant it or put a pool in it or do something.
It's going to probably fill up with water.
It's dirt. Water, dirt, trash that gets blown in. Who knows?
Bird's nests.
You don't know. But it's not going to be what you set it out for the intention of it.
Right, for sure.
But if you set an intention that I'm digging a hole to plant some trees,
you're going to have a beautiful tree.
You're going to have a beautiful tree and amazing landscape.
Right.
Right.
You all got to come out here for your own podcast. This is really great. I'm going to walk out a little brighter today. Be like, today's a good day. The sun is shining. It's beautiful in LA today. It's good. Y'all should try this. This is great.
All right. So touring that, any ideas for some new like kind of songs that you want to make a statement for?
I just finished a song with two of my co-writers last night. And I want to encapsulate so that feeling of we all feel we have a purpose. Hopefully, we all feel we have a calling, right? And a lot of times we have bad days. We want to give up on that calling. Like, this is too hard. I've been working this all my life. Nothing's happening. Like, this is so stressful. I don't even know if it's going to happen. I don't even know if it's even in the cards for me. There's this little voice inside me that goes, nah, sorry, this is your path. Like, you need to do this. You're meant for this. And I'm like, damn it, I don't want to. Like, and we kind of tried to encapsulate in a song that feeling of all I know is that I have this voice inside of me that says when I want to give up on things, you can't, because this is deep down what you love. This is deep down what you've always wanted to accomplish, your calling, your purpose. And this song kind of was talking about that. And so I really try to focus on my songwriting of just where I am in that moment of life.
Yeah, and being real and true.
Yeah, I don't write songs of, I want like a cool summer riding down the road song, or, like I wanted like a song I can get down at the club, Those are great to have, but that's not my life.
Yeah.
And I really want to encapsulate what I'm feeling at that moment, because I know that those very specific songs can be even broader to people listening.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of songs out there like that. There's plenty of songs, plenty of writers and people are doing the other songs that are way more, general and just fun loving. I always want to stick to what is going to help people see the light in their own life. What is help people say, oh my gosh, this song really resonates with me and what I'm feeling like now. I have a song about long distance relationship. And I hear from people all the time, like, wow, that song like really just helps me cope with the sadness I'm feeling. Along with Unlabeled and along with, the song about my grandmother. I have so many people saying, oh my gosh, my grandmother has dementia too. And like I bawled hearing the song and it made me feel so good because of what she left behind for me.
Wow.
So that's where I thrive. And when we finish a song like that, I'm like, oh, great. This is filling my cup.
Yeah. And with your permission, maybe we put a little clip of Unlabeled right here. And then you guys can check it out.
Check it out at IsabelleMusic, double L-E at the end. Just plug myself right there. Okay.
The words all over you, the what you are conveying, and really standing and being your truth and taking that stand for people to be their unique self and not to fit into a mold or not to fit into a box.
Yeah, I truly felt like there was a vehicle coming through me that day when we made the video, because I did so many things in that video that I was not expecting to do in the video in that day. Like, the director came up to me and he said, okay, all the actors kind of went into like a black room and they like yelled out these terrible names that are all over their body, and they just had this therapy session privately. And then towards the end of the night, we didn't have time for that. So everyone's outside and I'm in all these words with no makeup and just, like in an underwear and bra. And he's like, okay, so you're going to scream. What's like the word that you feel like people have defined you by that you feel like has been hovering over you the whole life? And I had fat written across my chest. And he's like, okay, I want you to scream that word and I want you to just release it. And so he goes, just go for it, in front of like 20 people. And that's what I mean when I say like that day changed my life, because I'm releasing this word to everyone here. I'm releasing all the pain and all of the memories. And I'm just like, fat! And then I just start bawling while I'm screaming it. And you'll see it in the video if you watch it. But that moment was really powerful for me.
Yeah. But you've seen it in the video.
Yeah. If you watch the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was great. I feel wonderful, and this podcast is a great thing, and it's doing really well. So congratulations.
No, thank you. And we'll put everything and all the links to your website and everything below, Instagram, all that. So if anybody wants to find out more about Isabelle and follow her music, see her on a tour when she goes through, we'll make sure that we update it with her tour date too.
Awesome. Love to see you guys there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this conversation, like it, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want some more amazing resources on your path of liberation, head over to liberateyourself.com and sign up for our mailing list. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram at Liberate Hollywood, all one word, or Liberate Emporium, all one word. Until next time, liberate yourself.
Thinking that you want to take that action step, why wait? Book your session right now. Go to liberateyourself.com, click on either Liberate Hollywood or Liberate Emporium, see our amazing practitioners and who resonates most with you. And then book a session via Skype, phone, or in person. We're here for you, and it's your time to start creating your life.